Hi everyone, Letty here from Party Planner Papery. Today I have the February 2025 sheet load of cards by Call Me Crafty Owl. This is a project share video and I'm featuring Bitty Penny's Crafty Queen. Welcome back everyone. So I'm on the creative team for the sheet load of cards. I have the February 2025 sheet load of cards by Call Me Crafty Owl. I'll link her YouTube channel down below where you can access the sheet load of cards as well as the sheet load playlist with all of the creative team's videos. So you can also check that out for more inspiration. So Call Me Crafty Owl releases this sheet load of cards every month and it's a sketch. She releases the supplies you'll need, how many cards you'll make, what size paper, the dimensions. There's some additional like little bonus and alternative things that you can also get with this sketch and sheet load. She'll give you the cutting guides, how to cut your cardstock, your pattern paper, additional elements. So this is just a really great resource. What I love too is that it's a full size card when you print out into 100%. So this one is going to have vellum, but you could always switch that out for some other element paper or cardstock or something else. That you can put the sentiment or the image right there in the center. And then you've got some different layers. This one is going to be for an A2 size card. Now I did bring in Bitty Penny, who's my crafty BFF, her Crafty Queen paper pad. So one of our our creative team members, Bitty Penny, she has her own paper pads. And so this one's called Crafty Queen. It's 24 sheets made in the USA. You can find this on her website, which is www.bittypenny.com. I'll link it down in the description box below. If you're not familiar, definitely check her out, as well as all the other creative team members. But she has this amazing paper pad. So I wanted to use some of the smaller cut aparts as my focal images for the fronts of my cards. And then it also does come with some sentiments, which I'll also add. Now, as far as the pattern paper, I am planning on hoarding this paper as much as I can. So I went ahead and brought in some distress oxide inks and made my own watercolor backgrounds. I have the Salty Ocean. I also have Cracked Pistachio. And then also Carved Pumpkin, and these are all by Ranger by Tim Holtz. I have Twisted Citron, this real pretty color, and then Picked Raspberry. So those were the 5 colors that I used. I added some water and made some watercolor background on some watercolor paper. Also brought in my Pigma Micron 3 archival ink pen just to do some doodle lines. And so I'll show you a little close-up of that. I did a couple different variations of doodle lines on my cards. So here is the February 2025 sheet load of cards. This is my contribution to the creative team for this month. So I made 15 cards using this 6x8 paper pad. Here you can see the doodle lines. I did a large one and then I did a little dot one around the smaller one. As far as the pattern paper on the background, that's where I use my watercolor paper. And then I did cut up those little bitty cut aparts, and that's what I use as my focal image. I added one of the little sentiments that came with the paper pad at the bottom. This would work great if you switched it and did a vertical card as well. In fact, it probably would even work better for the cut aparts that I'm using. There is vellum. I also did some enamel dots. I brought those in from my stash. You can kind of see there as well as that little vellum. And so we have the pattern paper that I did use from the paper pad. And then of course my watercolor paper. Brought in some holographic cardstock just because I wanted this card to be super shiny and just be super, super fun, which kind of goes with the motif of this paper pad. So I also did, when I was cutting down my watercolor paper for the larger mat, I noticed that I was not going to have enough to make the full mat size. So I altered it for some of them. I have a cardstock mat, and then I also have my paper mat that's slightly smaller with the dimensions there on the screen. So I was able to make very similar sort of renditions, again, just adjusting the size of my larger mats. But otherwise, I think these cards turned out super cute. Obviously, I am a crafty person, so I am absolutely loving this paper pad, this Crafty Queen paper pad from Toby, who's Bitty Penny. And then this sketch from Alicia, this February 2025 sketch, is such an easy one to do. If you are a beginner card maker, this one is perfect because your cuts are going to be so super easy. If you're using 12 by 12 paper, you won't have as many scraps, but you can see here, you could also have, achieve these cards even with a smaller paper pad. In this instance, I used a 6x8 paper pad. I think these are so super fun. I love all of the colors, the bright colors in these. I think coming off of like winter, I was just ready to gravitate towards more color. And so I thought this paper pad was perfect. I think these are so super fun. I love the holographic elements. I love the little extra doodles, the vellum, the enamel dots, and then of course these gorgeous prints with these crafty queens. So again, that was my February 2025 sheet load of cards. I had 15 cards, and this is again the brainchild of Alicia, who's Call Me Crafty Al. I'll link her YouTube channel down below where you can pick up this sheet load while it's available. And then I'll also link Toby's biddypenny.com website so you can pick up this Crafty Queen if it is still available as well. You'll definitely want to check out Toby's website. And then, of course, you'll want to check out the playlist that I'll link down below so you can see all the inspiration from all of the creative team. And if you do this sheet load, use those hashtags to share with us to show us all that you also did them. So thanks so much for visiting, everyone. I hope you got a little bit of inspiration. Take out those supplies, make your sheet load. Happy crafting.